Hello, everyone, and welcome to New Consciousness Review. I'm Miriam Knight, and our guest today is Daniel Pinchbeck. Daniel is the co-editor of a new anthology, What Comes After Money, which is a collection of essays from Reality Sandwich on transforming currency and community. Daniel is the editorial director of Reality Sandwich, the co-founder of Evolver.net, the founding editor of the literary journal Open City, and executive editor of Evolver Editions, a new publishing imprint in collaboration with North Atlantic Books. His books include 2012, The Return of Quetzalcoatl, and Breaking Open the Head. Daniel has been featured in several documentaries, including Amorim's 2012, Time for Change. Daniel, I don't know when you get time to do all of this, but anyway, welcome. I'm delighted to have you with us. Tell us about Reality Sandwich. What was the impulse behind starting it?
Well, I wrote a couple of books, as you mentioned, Breaking Open the Head. That was about shamanism and use of psychedelics in traditional societies and as initiatory tools. Then I wrote 2012, The Return of Quetzalcoatl. That was about prophecies and philosophy and my own experiences in relationship to those prophecies. And as these books came out, I started to get all this amazing correspondence from people who were having similar experiences, kind of psychic, shamanic, synchronistic experiences. But I could see they were sending me all this stuff because there was really no great outlet in the culture for them to develop these ideas. So that really led us ultimately to start a web magazine, Reality Sandwich, which focuses a lot on consciousness, visionary solutions. We're writing a lot about right now, but the Occupy Wall Street movement, and that was the Reality Sandwich has really become a hub for this whole new cultural paradigm. And it's kind of out of that Evolver Editions has emerged. I was contacted by the publishers of North Atlantic Books to see if we would like to do a imprint with them. So since then, we're doing about 10 books a year. And we're really very, very proud of the titles that we have that we're launching with that include 2 books about this kind of economic transition. One is called Sacred Economics by Charles Eisenstein.
And in fact, we interviewed Charles last week.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, I think his book is super, super, super awesome. Mm-hmm. And then we did an anthology, with a broad range of voices addressing this topic, which is called What Comes After Money. Which I love as a title. I have to admit I came up with it because I don't think most people have even ever once in their lives asked themselves that. We also have a new book by, it's going to turn out to be the last book, I guess, by Jose Arguelles, who was famous as a visionary around the Mayan calendar and so on. And this ends up being this manifesto for the noosphere, ends up being kind of his summation statement of his philosophy, which is basically that humanity is in a transitional phase on the Earth from the stage that he calls the biosphere through the technosphere, which is this time where we've created all this industrial technology around the planet and pollution and so on, to another phase of planetary existence, which he calls, following Teilhard de Chardin and Vernadsky and other thinkers, the noosphere. The idea that we're going to become kind of like a psychically aligned species and collectively experience an ego-free state.
It's interesting to think of the metaphor of the reality sandwich. When you think of a sandwich, you think of 2 slices of bread encompassing something. And in this case, what we're seeing in the ethers, in the universal mind awakening, is what you were describing on the one hand, which is the awakening of consciousness, the awakening to our supradimensional existence. And on the other hand, a focus on the material reality and saying, hey, something's wrong with this picture. We need to change it.
Well, and maybe, what we're seeing is kind of like the pulling together. This is very much what I wrote about in the 2012 book, and also we covered in the movie, is, we've had this kind of spiritual or New Age culture, then we've had this kind of, left-wing political culture, and, except, there was, I guess, like Gandhi's movement in India kind of brought that together, but in our society it's been kind of separate. Like the New Age culture has been a little bit detached from, the political and the material struggle for, injustice and inequality to be overturned. It's been a little bit more of a game for privileged people. And meanwhile, the leftists and the radicals have been kind of, dismissive of, what they can see as his non-materialist, aspects of reality. And I think what's happening now, is the kind of meshing together or the merging of these two streams into a new movement for planetary liberation, illumination, enlightenment, and an end to global inequity.
Actually, in one of the essays in your book, Steve Behrman talks about this kind of political alliance or spiritual alliance almost between the libertarian conservatives and progressive liberalism. It's kind of a meeting above the fray of the values. I mean, even in the Tea Party, you see that there's this sense that something is not right and we have to come up with something else. It's just finding the right something else is and the common ground, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the Tea Party is not like a bottom-up, kind of popular insurrection in the way that what this Occupy movement is. I mean, the Tea Party is well funded by right-wing, think tanks and foundations. It really has the political aim of maintaining the wealth and privilege of the 1%. So I feel that what's now self-organizing is something quite different than that. But sure, I mean, basically, as humans, we all have fundamentally the same wants and needs. We want security. We want to be able to take care of our children and our old people. And a lot of these artificial boundaries have been created by outmoded ideologies. And I think that part of what's happening right now is a very rapid awakening of planetary consciousness that's being facilitated by the social technology. I think it's probably freaking out the political establishment. Which is a good thing. Change is always scary to some and exhilarating to others.